Hey guys, so I just wanted to start off this video by saying thank you to everyone who's followed me so far and hit that subscribe button. I remember I made a video about 2 months ago saying I only had 30 followers or something like that, and now I'm almost to 300, so I do appreciate it, but I'm still gonna beg for those likes and those thumbs ups and those shares to your friends who you think might find this sort of video interesting. And always the comments help out a whole bunch. I love interacting and going back and forth, and sometimes I can answer some questions and help you guys out. So please keep doing that. And now we're going to get into today's video, which is all about color correcting the sky in a Milky Way shot in Photoshop or Lightroom. I put out a question on my Instagram about a week ago asking what people were interested in learning, and I got a lot of responses that people wanted to learn more about fixing the color. So that's what we're going to do today. I was talking with a guy I met on Instagram. He's a photographer out of Connecticut named Flavio Ferrero, and he's got some really cool images, but one thing I noticed in his night sky images is that his colors varied greatly. They went from being really purple to really green, some are super blue, some are orange, and he was one of the people who asked me about color correcting the sky, and it turns out that he's actually colorblind. So he is finding that that is a challenge for him. So I got him to send me some photos, and I'm going to edit them myself and see what we can do with the colors, and maybe we can make a little bit of sense out of the colors in the night sky. I've opened up his images into Photoshop, and we can see that he was working with a Sony a6000, which is a mirrorless APS-C size camera from Sony that they came out with in 2014. So it's definitely a very capable little camera, and he was shooting on the kit lens, the 16-50 3.5 to 5.6. So this is a decent little setup, and he gets really amazing images with it. He stacked 50 of these photos of this little stream and stuff, and I got him to send me those images, and I'm going to stack about 30 of them. So I'm going to open those up into Sequitur, and if you want to learn more about how to use Sequitur, you can click on this video right here, but for the sake of time, we're going to go through this in about 18 seconds. Alright, now Sequitur's done, and it gave us this image that we've opened up here in Photoshop. It cleaned up everything. You can see that a lot of that noise is gone, and it also added a little bit of brightness to the image because I clicked that auto brightness button. Now this resulting image has a pretty bright sky, but this foreground is fairly dark, so I want to get a more consistent exposure throughout this whole image, so I'm going to duplicate this layer, and by hitting Control L, I'm going to open up a levels adjustment layer. And I'm adjusting this for the sky to try to make it look as good as possible. Right there is good for now. So I want to blend these two layers together, and I'm going to use that using a layer mask with a gradient. So over this one where we adjusted for the sky, click on the layer mask button, come over to this left side and click the gradient. Now I'm just going to draw a tiny little line right on that horizon. Now we can see that revealed the foreground here, but because of these little trees, I'm going to grab my brush and choose black and just paint this layer mask over these trees on the corners. There we go. Now we have a really even exposure and we can get to work on it. I make a lot of my edits in the camera raw filter in Photoshop. It's the same filter or program that you can use in Lightroom. I just really like how it works here. Because we're mainly focusing on the color of this image, the first thing I'm going to do is boost my saturation and vibrance. You can see this gives us a really purpley foreground and a very green and blue sky. So I'm going to increase the temperature of the sky just a bit, and I'm going to actually slide this towards the magenta direction. When we're adjusting color in the sky, we want the background essentially to be a deep blue and the Milky Way to be more of an orange or even a coppery sort of color, kind of rusty colored. And when we boost the saturation and vibrance all the way up, we can really notice the slight differences in the colors. I'm just going to play around with these a little bit more. Right about there looks good. I'm going to bring our vibrance and saturation down a bit. Now I'm going to go over to the HLS adjustments and mess around with my orange saturation and boost that, and my yellows and bring those up. And then under the hue, I can drop the blue, or under the luminance, I can drop the blues to darken that sky. Under the hues, I'm going to slide the yellow slightly to the orange and the orange slightly more to the red. Now I'm going to go ahead and edit the rest of the image kind of quickly, but when we do that, we'll be able to see more of the colors. Now I got this image into the normal part of Photoshop, and I can make a few more adjustments. First thing I'm going to do is copy this layer so I can go back to it if I need to. And I'm going to do some dodging and burning to the core to make it pop a little bit better. I'm also going to try to make this river stand out a little bit more. Now it does seem like I might have gone a little bit over the top with that, so I'm going to adjust this with a layer mask. And I'm going to just paint some black in there with about half an opacity, or 50% opacity. Now we've got a pretty nice balance, so I'm going to add one more levels adjustment to just finish off this image and bring it home. Now I'm just going to give it a little bit of a crop to get rid of those really dark corners that we were seeing. Right there looks about good, and there we go. There's other things that we could do to this image, but I think this is a really good start. We got a good color balance where we have a blue sky and a coppery orangey looking core. The lights from the town looks more natural. When Flavio made his edit, he sent these in kind of a green direction, but this really isn't air glow and it's not an aurora. It's just a haze from the light pollution, and that always renders somewhere between yellow and orange. So I think this is more of a natural look. I do have to commend Flavio on this location and this composition. It looks like a beautiful little stream, river, lake, whatever it is, but wherever it is, it's definitely somewhere I wouldn't mind spending a few hours underneath the Milky Way. So good job on this location. It's gorgeous. Alright, I hope this video has been helpful, and as always, please do give me that thumbs up and comment your thoughts or questions. And if you could, follow me on Instagram to keep up to date with the images I'm producing. There's a whole bunch of really cute fox photos on there right now. And you could go to my website, chasingluminance.com, where I sell prints, and I also have some digital downloads, and I'm selling puzzles of some of my night sky images. It's a cool way of staying busy with your family during this issue that we're all facing right now. So thank you so much for watching, and when the stars are out, I'll see you there.